Good day, folks. Welcome to the NBWildman channel. Welcome to my absolutely chaotic world of my skinning slash hunting slash shed as we get ready for another upcoming deer season. It is the first couple of weeks of October here in New Brunswick, and we got the moose hunt over with, and that's absolutely fantastic. We got a nice 19-point bull. If you haven't seen that video, it is on the channel a couple weeks back. Go ahead and check that out. It's a great one. And listen, if you haven't yet subscribed to the NBWildman channel, we sure would appreciate it. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell if you want to get notified when we upload new content. You know, if you like the stuff and you want to be, notified of when we put up new things. So, also a new thing that we're doing on the channel, somewhere down there, there's a little button that says, I think it says super thanks. So it's a chance for you to be able to give or donate to the NBWildman channel. We're taking all of those funds. Anybody that does that, we're taking all those funds, putting that back into youth hunting and youth trapping programs here in New Brunswick. So if that's something you want to do, go ahead and do that. But again, it's not a big deal. So, all right, today's video is super simple. We have been asked by a couple different people to share another sort of recipe of a deer attractant that you can make at home. This one is very similar to the Stak'D product from Rack Stacker. So if you use that, it's kind of a coconut flavor. It's got a coconut, kind of texture-y kind of flavor to it. I've used it with some success in the past, but you got to keep it away from areas where there are boatloads of raccoons. So what I found with the Stak'D, when I used the coconut, the one that has coconut in it, I'll show you a picture of it here on the screen, but when I used it in areas that had a heavy raccoon population, I couldn't keep it on the ground. Raccoons came in by the boatloads, right? And so I made this kind of formula myself, and it's no different than that. If you've got an area that's heavily populated in raccoons, you're not going to want to use this there. But it does work for deer. It will bring deer in. It is another one of those attractants that I love that you can, it's a powdery type deal when you're done. You can soak it down into the stump, or you can clear some rubble out of the way and actually put it right on the ground and let it soak in, and it will work. All right, so without further ado, this one's real simple to make. You will need a few of those same similar ingredients that I've used in other videos. So let's get started. First off, you need, very simply, some sodium bicarbonate. So this, what I use, this is Arm & Hammer feed grade sodium bicarbonate. I buy this at the local, I think I get this one at Suregain, just a local feed store. Most places have it. It's just basically bulk feed grade baking soda, right? So anyway, you're going to want to use about, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 cups, depending on how much of this you want to make. There's no real specific recipe, but you want to use, I use about 4 or 5 cups of the sodium bicarbonate to start, right? There's nothing else in this bowl. I don't know why I'm mixing it up. I'm mixing nothing. It's the same thing. So, all right. Next on our list is 2 cups of CalMag Plus. So, Calcium Magnesium Plus, again, get it at the local feed store, same place I get the sodium bicarbonate. And it is a mineral supplement for cattle. It is largely calcium and magnesium. So the reason that we throw this into the mix, and again, I'm going to stir after every time just to make sure that it's pretty evenly distributed in my little concoction here. The CalMag will actually aid in bone growth and milk development and antler growth and all of those things. Now, it's a little late in the season to worry about antler growth, but wherever you put this, it's going to be good for this year and the next year after that. You will find, and if you've been kind of following some of the recipes that I do, year after year, you'll find that you go back to those places where you used them a year ago. You go back early spring, just after the snow goes, a couple, 3 weeks after the snow's gone, you'll go into, get started again, get your camera set up, and you'll be like, wow, this place is all tore up already. There's deer tracks here already. There's deer tracks all around. So it stays, and the CalMag especially will hold in the ground. So that is a good thing to use. I mix it into almost everything. Whether it's early season, late season, doesn't really matter. It's always going to be good, especially if you're going to plan on hunting your site multiple years or multiple times. So, all right, so got your baking soda, get your CalMag Plus. Now we're going to drop over to absolutely simple road salt. This is just a bag right here, this fancy yellow bag. It says ice, salt, melts ice and snow. Right, so it's just road salt, bulk. I'm going to use about the same amount of road salt as I used sodium bicarbonate, so 5-6 cups. Going to mix that in there. This is going to end up being a pretty significant, like a pretty large batch. When you're all said and done, this is probably enough to do a couple of spots, depending on how heavy you want to, put it out. Whether you're just starting a spot or whether you're refreshing a spot, it doesn't really matter. All right, so far we're pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We got our CalMag Plus in there, sodium bicarbonate, and we got some road salt. And again, that salt's just a nice smelling, tasty treat for them. All right, so you got all that in there. Boom. Next up and lastly, I believe, is our sort of secret ingredient for this batch. And this comes from, I'll get it at the dollar store. It's $2.50 a bag, so I'm gonna end up with $5 in here that I had to actually spend besides that. But so this is actually coconut sugar. All right, so again, it's just a sugar product. It's granular. I don't know if you can see in the bag, but it's just a granular product of sugar made from coconut, but it smells like coconuts, right? So for the most part, it's brown, which is good for our white mixture. That'll give it some different kind of texture. Now I use 2 in a batch this size. If you're making a smaller batch or you want to just do, a small batch and test it, then you can, just use 1 bag, but I like to use 2 in a mixture this size if I'm going to do a couple spots. But the beauty of the coconut sugar is that, number 1, it adds sugar, which the deer do like. They don't love a whole lot of sugar, but you can add sugar into most of your mixes, and that's fine. But the coconut sugar is going to mix in here, and it's going to give it that really nice kind of coconut-y flavor of that Stak'D product. Now, if you find when you're done here, if you smell this or you put this out and it doesn't, attract like you think it should, sometimes the salt can kind of overwhelm a little bit the coconut flavor. And if it does, and you're not happy with that, you can actually go get a little package, like a little plastic package of coconut, like shredded up coconut, like you'd use for baking, and add that to the mix. I don't love to do that because it adds a food source, right? Like it adds actually something that kind of a food into the mix, and that won't melt, or it won't disintegrate down into a stump or into the ground when it gets wet. So you end up with little bits of coconut lying on top of the ground, which I don't love. I like most of my mixes to absolutely completely disappear after the first heavy rain. Kind of down into that stump, and then into the ground, right? So that they can continue to come back and dig at it and eat the stump and eat away at the wood and lick it and all that stuff. But that coconut piece is laying on top of the ground. I don't love that. So anyway, this is what you got at the end of the day. This looks really good. This is about the right what you want. So you got some white mixed in there. You got some nice brown, right? And you've got right there basically your homemade version of the Stak'D. It's got your minerals in there. It's got your salt in there. It's got that coconut attractant in there for smell and for flavor. And it's got the sodium bicarbonate, again, to attract the deer into the area. And they love to lick it. They love to get it in their body. So anyway, real quick, real easy. And again, that's lots and lots to do a couple of spots. Or if you want, if you're going to hunt one major spot and you want one big sort of wallow, then you can put that all out. But anyway, quick and easy, not too difficult. A couple of products from the dollar store. Plus, I mean, I've always got this stuff on hand when I'm making my own deer attractants. But if you don't, what have I got? Baking soda, maybe $1, in a box from the dollar store. Little CalMag Plus, you got to kind of buy that. But I use that on all my sites, so it wouldn't hurt you to have that anyway if you're building your own attractants. And again, a $2 bag of ice, road salt. So anyway, there you go. I hope this helps you out. Just another quick and easy deer attractant recipe that you can do at home. And I hope that helps. So until next time, happy hunting from the NBWildman channel.